Greetings, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
So today is the 21st day of the seventh month,
Hmm.
and I come to give you guys a special announcement this morning. As the member of the Most High has stated that those who are appointed will hearken, they will hear and do what the Most High has commanded. It is important that we follow a few instructions, and let us take time now to understand how we got here.
Yes.
Okay. So when I look at Haggai chapter 2, this is exactly what it says. It says, "Who is left among us, right, that saw the house of David in its former glory?"
Mm.
And right now, how do you see it?
Mm.
Right? So everything's destroyed, everything's in ruins, everything's in shambles. We're all over the place. There's no general consensus, no unity among us, and impending doom is on the horizon with the United States seeking to declare war directly against China and Russia simultaneously. So is it not that does it not appear now to us that the house of Israel, right, does not exist? We have foreigners on the land and they're possessing the portion. We have other people claiming our lineage and heritage, and they're just holding on to it by force with weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I want, we'll be right back. Give us 1 second. All right. So now I want, I want everyone who has intended in their hearts to do what is lawful and right and to come back and rebuild our nation on its land. I want you all to now be strong and let's get ourselves ready for the work that has to be done. Okay? And be of good courage because what we're about to embark on has never been done before. So you can say, have we had a kingdom before? Yes. Have we had land and dominion before? Yes. But this is different. We are going to rebuild the kingdom and it will stand in its place forever. So I'm telling you to be strong, all you people that are coming to the land, to be the people of the land. And we're going to work.
Yes.
We're going to work. Okay? We're going to give where it says give. We're going to sow where it says sow. And we're going to prosper where the memra says we will prosper. The word of Yah, this instruction, is 100% our support.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the promise that Yah made us when we came out of Egypt, and the prophets were teaching among us then, at that time, Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. Now, do not be afraid. For thus says Yah of the covenants, once again and in a little while, I will shake the heavens and the earth and the sea and the dry lands, and I will shake all the nations, and they shall bring the desirable things
Yes.
of all the nations, and I will fill this house with glory, says Yah of the covenants. The silver is mine and the gold is mine, says Yah. The latter glory of this house will be greater than what it was back in the day.
Yes.
And I will grant prosperity in this place, right where we are right now, right where we're getting ready to build. He will grant prosperity here. So it's not for a time off or in another location. And so I wanted you all to understand what the Most High wanted to say today. Not today, tomorrow, but today.
Yes.
And I wanted you all to understand something that I read to you when we did the reading of the law. Okay? In Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 4. Though you may be dispersed unto the ends of the heavens, from thence will the word, the instruction of Yah gather you together by the hand of Elijah the great priest. Now Ali is with you. He holds the standard as written by the word, right? And from thence will he bring you by the hand of King Mashiach. Now, I know you guys have envisioned Kang the Conqueror or some other superhero. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Okay? It is just a simple order of following an instruction from what is written before time. So I'm going to ask you to set your ideas and your ideologies aside and come to grips with the reality. If you want to know how to get out of this situation, it is very simple. You are all planned to be here before the deadline of June the 2nd. That's this June the 2nd. You are all planned to be here. So how are we going to make this happen? How are we going to make this work? I want all of you who have a desire to come. What you're going to do is liquidate your stuff. Pack your suitcases. Contact Ali, tell him you're getting ready to leave. Okay? I want you guys to pack your suitcases, get prepared, and get ready to come. You're going to reduce your spending to the bare minimum. You're going to make sure you got your food. You're going to make sure you keep your utilities on for what you need. You're going to need an international phone. What that means is a phone that you can put a SIM card in and use it. It does not need to be the latest, greatest. Okay? But if you have a phone on a contract, you might want to get rid of that and go get you a phone for $100 to $200. You're going to sell as much as you can sell for the next 2 months. Okay? You're going to sell as much as you can sell for the next 2 months. You're going to get your passports. You're going to get your visas, and you're going to get your tickets. Okay? And you can coordinate your ticket purchases with Ali. Now, Ali is not a travel agent. He is not going to buy your tickets for you. But if you're coming around this time, he's going to tell you, okay, we're going to fly out. I want to be there by the 26th, which is most likely going to be Ali's day, May 26th. So if he says, I'm leaving May 26th, then you understand to let him know when you are able to travel according to what you can afford, right? Because we're talking about flight tickets. If there's a cheaper flight for $300 on June the 1st, you fly the 1st. If it's a cheaper flight on May 28th, you fly on the 28th. It doesn't matter when you fly. It's just that we know that you are coming, when you are coming. And we want to be able to really help you guys through this process. Make sure you get your 5-year visa so you have time. You can say, I plan to be there by May 26th. You can travel anytime, but you want to have that visa stamped now. So you're going to take out loans. Any loan you can get. Business loan, black woman loan, loan shark loan. You're going to take out any loan you can get for as much money as you can. Okay? You're going out of that loan, you're going to send of what the money you have, 30%. Okay? Take a calculator. If you have 10,000 minus 30%, you're going to send 3,000. Okay? So we're going to take that loan and you want to get a lot. Get 100,000, get 300,000, get 500,000, get $1 million if you can. You want to sell your home. You want to sell your car. You're not going to be able to bring those things with you. You want to travel as light as possible and appear as a tourist when you come through the gate. Okay? Telling you here for a month, even though you have a 5-year visa, come and take a tour for 1 month, 2 months, and that's it. Okay? Once you get inside, we will take care of everything else. We will pick you up. Okay? So what we're going to do with this money is we're going to buy the first initial farm. So we're looking at purchasing the land with a farm, a large, big family house upon it. So we're probably getting somewhere between 12 to 15, maybe 25 acres where it's affordable and also where it is a good spot for us as the people. Everybody, everywhere don't love you. So, but I've been here to make the connections because when you get off that plane, we'll be going into that farmhouse first. The second thing that will be purchased will be the van, right? We have to pick you up from the airport. We also need transportation to various other places. So we will have the van. So now when you see what we are doing, you understand once you get here, because when you get here, because the land is owned, your rent stops. Okay? Your rent stops. Once the land is owned, your rent stops. Now we're going to own the land, we own the building, because when you come with the rest of the money, we will take care of whatever other expenses is necessary, and we have to begin the work. So we have to start working the farm. We're going to have to start working the supermarket, which is the second major purchase, because the supermarket is what's going to pay for us to remain here. And we have the extra added bonus of free food, right? We own the supermarket. And since we own the supermarket, we're not charging anybody for food. So your residence and the food is covered forever. Supermarket, housing, we own the land. Okay? This is the basis of the first steps. Okay? I don't want to overwhelm you guys. There's a lot of other things we got to take care of, but this is the basis. Once we own the land and we have the supermarket, the business established, then I have to deal with other legalities as far as paperwork for you guys to be granted residency. At this time, those who arrive, I know, will be making up the special portion. Those who arrive will be and will be becoming sages and will be becoming heads of household unless they show cause and give rise to occasion to where they fail. You've heard the rules, you've heard the laws, you've heard the customs and traditions, you know what you're getting into. And this is not like any other movement. Every other movement wants you to go in and you basically become an American slave in another country. In this one, we always are buying land. From the first building, housing building, we have to get two other buildings, one for men and one for women. Okay? And that's to house women and children and men separately. Okay? And we will be getting more houses because there's more people coming. We will have land for raising cattle, and we will have land for farming fruits, vegetables. All we are buying is farming. And all of the stuff that we have on our farm will be directly shipped by us to our supermarket. Okay? So the supermarket will be the lifeblood of this community. We work in the community, but we don't work for the community. This is for the workers who serve the Most High in the sanctuary. So we are giving tithe now so that there might be a provision and test the Most High in this for you. You will be traveling with Ali. He is your point of contact. He is there. Right now, he's in Georgia. After that, he's going to PA. He's not going to make a tour around the country. You have to travel to him. So contact him and get yourselves together. Assemble yourselves to leave. I know I'm not getting a large group. That is fine. You can tell I'm not getting a large group. You can look at the numbers on my channel. But I don't need a large group now. I need the foundation now. I need those who are loyal and have integrity and are going to keep this law as I have read it, literally verbatim. So this is what it is. We'll be back and I'll pick up with class today because I know time is short. So we'll be back after this. All right. I know time is short. So what I have given my word on is that we will finish this, right? We have to finish the full reading of the law. And I'm going to continue and finish reading it, right? Because all of this is not law. There's stories, which are cases. Then you have the actual rules. Then you have how they applied them, how they walk them out. So when we are reading the Torah, which is instruction, the word for instruction is Torah. When you are reading the Torah, you are reading an instruction, and there is a method to reading. So we start in Exodus 19 and we read to the end. Then in reading it, it gave us a command to now carry these judgments back to the beginning to judge the stories and the cases to see that the judgment were true and right. So now it's being applied now, one word at two times. One for us today to gather ourselves, to take out loans, to get this money together, to send this amount so you have a place to go, and to travel with a certain amount on you to be converted when you get here. And we still have to use it. Okay? We will use it when we get here. It's not for flossing. It's not for bowling. It's not for anything else except for making sure that we build what the instructions say build so that we can prosper through the war that is getting ready to come. You're not going to be able to do this in America. It will be utterly destroyed. Utterly destroyed. You're not going to be able to do it. There is no place in the world you will be able to suffice. You and your enemies are going to Africa, and they already have bases, tanks, and weapons. So you're not going to be able to do that. You know Europe is going to get nuked. They are moving the nukes into position now. It'll take them about 6 months to get the full wind up. And after that, that's it. There will come a point to where you will not be able to get here. At that time, doors is closed. Even if the doors here are open, where you are, the door may be closed due to rising hostility. So just want you to know, if you don't believe what it's like in war, I've been in it. It's not what you think it is. It's not comfortable. It's not cozy. It's not sweet. I'm telling you now, this is exactly what's coming to you, and this is your only opportunity for escape. After this, the survivors, they'll be going wherever they can get to for survival. All right?
Excuse me, brother. It's okay if I just say this one thing to emphasize on what you spoke. When Robert Sheikh said, dress as tourists, It is very, very important that you dress American.
Right. You're not coming back here
Right.
as Itzhaki or anything. When you get on that plane, you have to return back like the law states. You come out looking like where you came from. So you have to come out as an American and you will turn into a Bedouin inside to never leave. That's the way it works. You will leave. This way you know that the Most High is not lying. Because in coming out, you have only taken the first initial steps towards proving the law and the righteousness of the Most High. And you are not righteous yourself. But because you take this step, there is mercy applied, and then we will take all the other steps and make all the other changes. So you're leaving an American. Don't put on no fringes. Don't put on nothing.
No skirts, women dress American.
Dress American.
Yes.
Come in your regular sweatpants. I mean, I understand if you want to be modest, put on a long shirt.
Yeah.
The touristy one. I love New York works just fine.
Yes. Yes.
Put on the touristy stuff. You are travel regular.
Yes. Very important.
After you travel, then once you get here, we will begin the process of changing the garments. The same process that Moses took when the children of Israel came out, they made the garments after they got to the sanctuary, the safe place prepared for them. So listen, I have to make the preparation for you. Okay? So let's get rid of stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Sell everything. The TV, sell everything. You're getting on a plane. You're not going back. Okay? After you leave, the rest of them will be locked in. This is not a repeat of somebody's crazy flee doctrine. Flee, get out, and there's nowhere for you to go, and there's no provision for you. That's a fool. I'm telling you, you're preparing and you're coming into a provision. You have food, you have clothes, you'll have a place to sleep, right? And we will have resources that perpetually renew so that we can continue to grow into the future. Okay? Where we leave off yesterday?
We completed Code Bereshit 26:6. We're starting at 7.
Okay. So yesterday we left off and we discussed Isaac's judgment. And Isaac is now walking in the same way as Abraham. Before he makes a move, he's consulting the Most High. Okay? And in consulting the Most High, he has 2 ways to consult. 2. He has the books of Abraham. He has Abraham's books and Abraham's teachings. He has Shem's books. He has Enoch's books. He has Noah's books. So he has all the teachings of these notable giants in the law. Right?
Yes, sir.
So now that he has their understanding, understands when you see certain problems, do this thing the way I did it, and it will be well with you. So the judgment of those who have passed stands. It doesn't stop because they died. So now we are 26 and what?
Starting at verse 7, sir.
And verse 7. So the Most High tells Isaac, the Itzaki, Isaac's seed, to not go down into Egypt. How does that apply to us today? Those of you who come now will not have to go down into Egypt. So there's another school that I have to build in Egypt after the war and after some time. There is another school in Egypt that has to be built, right? So if you come and you obey us now, you get to come directly into the land and build the way our forefathers built. And we will go down into Mount Zion after the war. For those who do not listen, they will be stuck, stranded, the majority of them dying, and they will have to walk up into Egypt and then walk from Egypt on foot. It's a stretch. So do not do it. Okay? For those who are of the holy seed and wish to keep the covenant of Isaac, don't do it. Do what I'm telling you now. Get everything. I know your family going to think you're crazy. I know everybody's going to believe that, nah, it's going to blow over. It ain't. It ain't. I'm telling you it's not. So I'm telling you now, come and don't go down into Egypt. So he dwelt in Gerar. Okay, Gerar is north of where I told you about. It's north of Beersheba. So it's between Beersheba and Mamre. And the man of the place inquired concerning his wife, and he said, she is my sister, for he reasoned in his heart, lest the men of the place should kill me for Rivkah, because she was of beautiful appearance. Okay? And it was when days had increased to him in abiding there that Abu Melech, the king of the Philistines, right, looked from a window and beheld, and Isaac was disporting with Rivkah, his wife. This word disporting is old, but he was enjoying himself. They playing, they're sporting, you know, they playing and wrestling, you know.
Yeah.
And Abu Melech called Yitzhak and said, nevertheless, she is thy wife. Why hast thou said she is my sister? So Abu Melech is going, oh, no, you don't. I was getting ready to try to take this girl, and I know the story. Okay? And Yitzhak answered him and said, because I said in my heart, lest they kill me on her account. And Abu Melech said, so he thinking like Abraham, listen, I'm small, okay? I got all this possession, but he does not yet have the men
Right.
and the people to possess it. So I'm small. Okay? I got what I got. I'm here. Just leave it be. I will grow. One step at a time, one day at a time. And Abimelech said, "Why hast thou done this? It might have been that the king, who is the principal of the people, had lain with thy wife, and thou would have brought guilt upon us." So remember when I say Abimelech is a title?
Yes.
So this ain't the same Abimelech.
Melech from Ibrahim. No, it's not. This is another one.
This is how the Most High keeps track of Nephilim. No name. And
Yes.
there was this son of the king, and there was this son of the king. So now the old Abimelech, who had the issue with Abraham, he's not here. This the new king, and the other one is somewhere else. And Abimelech instructed all the people, "Whoever shall go near to injure this man or his wife shall verily be put to death." You laugh, right? I'm serious. I'm telling everybody, like, yo, when you get here, you take a wife. Any man approach another man's wife shall verily be put to death. No. I'm telling you all. So if you have that idea, then you can't be among us. You're going to be buried. Don't make me have to open up a cemetery. I'll do it. Okay? I don't want to, but I will. Don't approach unto another man's wife. And women, once you have chosen a man and y'all get together, y'all gonna be stuck till the death. So you don't like him now, you go to another, you and the other will die. You and the other will die. And we'll give the mourning husband a new one. And Isaac sowed unto righteousness in that land, and found in that year 100 for one, according to his measure. And Yah blessed him. And the man increased and went forward increasing until he was very great. Wait a minute. Did you see this? It says in verse number 12, I want you to understand this prophecy is what we're getting ready to embark on, okay, in this place. So the Israel and Jordan is connected. The Valley of Mamre connects it. Gerar is just south in the Valley of Mamre. You can walk across, it's connected. Okay? It says, Isaac sowed unto righteousness in that land. It didn't matter which land he was on, the land he was on, he sowed in. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to sow into the land, taking up possession, and then we're going to continue to nurture it. So we're going to get farmland that's already growing, and there will be areas for us to plant new things. Okay? So bring your seeds, not tree seeds. Well, you can bring tree seeds, but tree seeds take a long time. But herbs, all of them, vegetables, all of them. Okay? So, and he sowed in that land and found in that year.
Yep. That particular year.
In that one. So he sowed, and when he came to harvest, that first year go round,
It's 100 for one.
he got 100 for one. Okay?
So he got 100% from just one.
From one. One produced 100. It was more than enough. It was very bountiful. This is the covenant that is coming to us in returning to buy this land right Now, and it says, and the man. Do you know what the man is?
No, sir. And
See?
y'all blessed him.
So the man in context is it's Akeem. The man is his seed after him, his sons, Adam.
So here, that's where it's speaking future.
Right.
Right.
So, and the man increased and went forward, increasing until he was very great. And he had flocks of sheep and herds of cattle and great cultivation.
So we see here, for us to be very great, it returns back to agriculture.
So we're going to have great cultivation of agriculture, and we're going to have sheep and herds of cattle, which is cows, donkeys, camels, okay? All the above. And the Philistine envied him. So I'm going to tell you,
You're gonna be envied.
there's going to be some jealousy. How you make it like this? It doesn't matter. It does not matter. I'm just telling you, this is what it was. And all the wells which the servants of his father had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines stopped up and filled with earth. So, because they were jealous, they wanted to keep him away by closing the cisterns. So, here, because of the nature of the land, when you dig so deep, you can hit a limestone patch and then you can fill that water and it will hold water. Right? So he dug deep, deep into the earth and left these wells so that you can move around. And the shepherds of what? And the servants, wait.
No, you at 16, sir.
Oh, 16. And Abimelech said to Isaac, go from us, for thou art stronger than we in riches very much. Now, Abimelech says, listen, you got to leave, bruh. You have more wealth than us. You consuming up everything here. That you have to move. Not that Isaac was stronger in men or in power. He just, his possession was so great, it could not be contained in the space anymore. And Isaac went thence and journeyed and sojourned in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water which the servants of Abraham, of his father, had dug in the days of Abraham his father, which the Philistine had stopped up after Abraham had died. And he called them by the names his father had called them. So after Abraham died, right, the Ishmaeli, they moved down and they living in Halutza. Isaac is not far from Halutza. Isaac is not far from there, but he dwells in Gerar. Okay, he wants to be in this area. The Philistine go and cover up the wells that Abraham's servants had dug for Abraham down in Beersheba. He stopped them up. Okay? Isaac goes down there and he digs them again. We'll be back. All right. So they said, hey, Isaac, go away. You too big. You too rich. So Isaac went and journeyed in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. So he went from Gerar, the city,
Right.
then he went into the valley, which is the field, the plain area, and he dwelt there. And he digged again the wells of water, which the servants of his father had digged in the days of Abraham, his father. What are you getting ready to do? You have to work. So this Isaac knows Abraham.
Yes.
Isaac, after the father took care of business, divided his goods, sent away the sons of the concubines off to their lands, and it just left Ishmael and his brothers, but they with Ishmael. And now you have Isaac and his wife, and he has his place. All from what Abraham left. And now the Philistines come, right? And they pack up dirt in all Abraham's wells that are near Isaac because they jealous of Isaac. So now Isaac is like having to rebuild and reestablish his father's places. Sound familiar? So he has to go and he has to now dig back up those cisterns. Okay? Same thing. We have to do the same thing. Listen.
Right.
The same thing. And which the Philistines had stopped, they had clogged up after Abraham was dead. And he called them by the names his father had called them. So it didn't matter what the name changed to, he changed it back to what his father called it.
Yes. Yes.
Right? So just because the real Mount Zion called Telerad now,
It will be restored.
when I go back and I have to redig there's a well there, right? I got to redig it out. Right? So we go back and redig out the cistern that belonged there. Guess what?
You gotta name it back.
You got to name it back the way it was. All right? And the shepherds, where were they? And the servants of Isaac, so Isaac has servants, they working for him, digged in the border of the valley and found there a well of flowing water. And the shepherds of Gerar contended with Isaac's shepherds, saying, the water is ours, and it was the will of heaven, and it dried. But when they returned to Isaac, it flowed. So when it was in their hands, it was dry. And when it was in Isaac's hands,
It flowed.
it flowed again. Okay? So this is what they had to notice. And they called the name of the well Essek. Essek is the word of contention. Because Esseku, they had quarreled with him on account of it. See? So the well of contention. Esseku.
Esseku.
Quarreling. Esseku. Essek. And they digged another well, and they contended for it also. And it dried and flowed not again. And he called the name of it Sitna. Accusation. Sitna. To accuse. Listen, do you see how this is delicately and slowly giving you the language back?
Sure is. It sure is.
Sitna. I accuse you. What is the accusation? Sitna. And he removed from thence and digged another well. And for that they did not contend as formerly. And he called the name of it Rakatha, spaciousness.
Rakata.
Rokata. Spaciousness. Right? For he said, now hath Yah given us space to spread abroad in the land. And he went up from there to Beersheba. So now he's moving in this area, trying to figure out where can he reside. Okay? And it wasn't until he found Rukatha
That he was able
to get space. And he went up from there to Beersheba. And Yah appeared to him that night and said, I am Allah of Abraham, thy father. Fear not, for my word is thy help. And I will bless thee and multiply thy sons for the righteousness sake of Abraham, my servant.
Yes, sir. Let's see.
Now, this is the same thing
He said
I read to you
yesterday
and today when I gave you the special instructions. So I'm here to help you and encourage you to not be afraid. Don't be afraid. Okay? I want you to hear my instructions well and do as I'm saying, and to be here at the appointed time, because my words will not fail, because they aren't mine.
They're his words, his instructions.
This is his instruction.
And his instructions is what helps us.
Okay? So I'm telling you, it's the same. So the judgment, even though Isaac has passed, his judgment does not cease. And he builded there an altar and prayed in the name of Yah. And he spread his tabernacle there, and the servants of Isaac digged there a well. And Isaac went forth from Gerar. The wells, when Isaac went forth from Gerar, the wells dried up, and the trees made no fruit. And they felt that it was because they had driven him away, all these things have befallen them. So they figured it out. All right, I'm not here to fight with you. If I gotta move, I'll move. Okay? So while he's there, it's great. It's the oasis, everything lush and green and sprouting. Why? He have a law for how to keep it. This land responds to that law. When he leaves, they come in, they like locusts. They want to eat everything, and they only want to sow little. They don't want to give much. So I'm telling you, I know I'm asking you to give much. But the reward is greater, 100 times greater than what you give. And you're going to see that. And Abimelech went to him from Gerar and took his friends to go with him, and Pekol, the chief of his host. And Isaac said to them, why come you to me that I should pray for you when you have hated me and driven me from you? Why you come all the way over here now and ask me to pray for you in your land after you drove me from the land? I was just over there in it. It was fine. Now you drive me from it and you destroyed everything. So why you come here? And they answered, seeing we have seen that the word of Yah is for your help.
And look, it says the word. It didn't say Yah himself, but the
The
word, the
instruction.
instructions.
So now listen, it's not that Abraham and his servants don't have to go back, and it's not fair that they got to redig up the wells. But when they dig them up, there's water in it, and it benefit them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair that the Philistines is giving them such a hard time and making him move when he didn't want to move. But it's not about that. It's to show. Listen, the blessing here while I'm here, the blessing will go with me.
Me. Mm-hmm.
When I go over here, the blessing go with me over here. Who the blessing is with? It's with Isaac. The same way it was with Abraham. The same way it was with Joseph. And the same way it is with Moses. The same way it is with me here today. And they answered, saying, seeing we have seen that the word of Yah is for thy help, and for thy righteousness' sake, all good hath been to us. Meaning, when the Most High shared the benefit, right? He shares the benefit.
Mm-hmm.
I will benefit everyone around you and all the support that is to you for your sake. Okay? So everyone join to me, all the people, everybody that helps me, everybody that support me in my endeavor, they will receive the same support and some of the same protections.
Mm.
But when thou wentest forth from our land, the wells dried up, and our trees made no fruit. Then we said, we will cause him to return to us, and now let there be an oath established between us, and kindness between us and thee, and we will enter into a covenant with thee, lest thou do us evil. For as much as we have not come nigh thee for evil, and as we have acted with thee only for good, and have indeed sent thee away in peace, thou art now blessed of Yah. So the
Yes.
testimony of them being blessed is said by the people who have caused him hardship. See? You gotta move here, you gotta move there. You can't stay here, you can't stay there. Okay. Let it be that the Most High move me wherever. After you moved, everything dry up. What happened? Oh, it caused us great hardship because we see now that the word of Yah was your help. This is how it works. So there's not going to be challenge free. We have to endure the challenges. And they arose in the morning, each man with his brother, and he broke off from the bridle of his ass. So see, he had donkeys, and gave one part to them for a testimony. And Isaac prayed for them, and they were enlarged, and Isaac accompanied them, and they went from him in peace. And on that day the servants of Isaac came and told him concerning the well they had digged, and said to him, we have found water. and he called it Sheba, which is swearing. Sheba, swearing. They call it Bir Saba, the well of seven, but Sheba is swearing. Therefore, the name of the city is Bir Saba unto this day. You know what Bir Saba is? It's literally like across the field from Seged Shalom. From where my city is. It's across the field. And Saud was the son of 40 years, and he took the wife of Yehudit, daughter of Bari, the Huda. So, and Basemath, daughter of Elon, the Huda. So how old was Isaac when he got Rivka? He's 40, right? Now, Saud is now 40. Right? This is the sons of Isaac. So Jacob is now 40. And he takes these Houthi women and marries into the Houthi. And they bowed in strange worship. Now you understand what bowing in strange worship is? You don't think about the idol. He wasn't supposed to marry these women.
So by him marrying them, he submitted himself to the strange worship.
That had nothing to do. There's no idol present.
Right.
But he submitted themselves to them, and it was a forbidden thing. And set themselves to rebel, and they bowed in strange worship and set themselves to rebel in their evil conduct against Isaac and against Rivka. Right? So let's see what they did. You read.
And it was when Isaac was old, and his eyes were darkened from seeing, because when his father was binding him, he had seen the throne of glory. And from that time, his eyes had begun to darken, that he called Saul, his elder son, on the 14th of Nisan, and said to him, My son, behold, this night they on high praise Yah of the world, and the treasures of the dew are open in it. And he said, Behold, I am.
Okay. We'll be back after this, and we'll touch on this. All right. So now Esau has these women, and they are disrespectful together. Isaac takes what he wants. Okay? Esau takes what he wants, and they are disrespectful to his mother and his father. And now, at this time, Isaac's eyes begin to darken, and he calls his oldest son. It is on the 14th of Nisan. This is the fall. And said to him, My son, behold, the night they on high praise Yah of the world, and the treasures of the dew are opened in it. So the treasure of the dew, you may not understand this saying, right? But the everything, when the Most High talks about dew, there is a blessing. There is increasing and enlargement for the herbage of the earth, for the animals, and for his people. It shall be like the dew. And he said, behold, or look, I am. And he said, behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. But now take thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go forth into the field, and take me venison, and make me food such as I love, and bring to me. And I will eat, that my soul may bless thee, lest I die. Okay? So I want to bless you before or ere I die. Okay? So now this is the setup. So now you have this son, and he's taking these daughters, right? Now you heard about the 5 sins that he
Esau
committed.
committed.
Okay? So you're going to start to figure out now how it played out. So now, go ahead, continue reading.
And Rivkah spake to Yukub her son, saying,
Hold on, verse before.
Oh, and Rivkah heard by the Holy Spirit as Isaac spake with Saul his son. And Saul went to the field to take venison to bring it. And Rivkah spake to Jacob her son.
Now you have to understand, what did it just say?
That Rivkah heard by the Holy Spirit.
Okay, so what is the problem that Rivka wants to make sure that Jacob gets this? It's because Esau has corrupted himself and his seed. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Esau corrupted himself and his seed. And so now that Esau has corrupted himself and his seed, Rivka is like, no, you're not going to get this blessing. If today is the day, the blessing must be imbued upon the son according to the judgment, then let that judgment rest upon Jacob. Okay? And this is why it says the Holy Spirit made her hear.
Yeah.
It's for the fulfillment of the law. Just because Abraham is dead doesn't mean you can now marry whomever you want.
Right. And too, I remember when I was reading the book, I think it was in Jasher Jubilees, where Abraham spoke to Rivkah and gave her instructions
On what to do
in
and how to
regard
do it.
and how to do it.
Well, that's how it appeared to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
It appears that it's the Holy Spirit. Well, I need a form. Look like Abraham, she'll listen.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to appear to her in a dream or through hearing and tell her what to do when she hears a thing. And she heard it. She's in a tent. It's not that difficult. And it's not like Isaac is a man to hide his judgment.
Right.
This is one of the things when you get into judgment. A thing is a thing. It's not hidden. It is very straight. Continue.
Okay.
And Rivka spake to Jacob his son,
saying, behold, this night those on high praise Yah of the world, and the treasures of the dew are open in it. And I have heard thy father speaking with Saul, thy brother, saying, Bring me venison and make me food, and I will bless thee in the presence of Yah before I die. And now, my son, receive from me what I command thee. Go now to the house of the flock and take me from thence 2 fat kids of the goats, one for the Pascha and one for the oblation of the feast. And I will make of them food for thy father, such as he loveth.
So she has to make one for the Pascha night, which this is the 19th of the 14th of Nisan. And then one for the oblation. Okay? Such as your father loveth. Okay? So on Pesach night, you can have 2 dishes. So the Pascha is made by mandate. This is commanded. So this sacrifice is handled in this way. However, the oblation, because you know that the burnt offering is only for tonight, it will not continue into tomorrow.
Yes.
So they make the oblation as well. That way you have food again for the tomorrow.
Now, reading this, so this also means that Isaac was the priest at that time?
Right. It's tracking him. It doesn't, it's not, remember, because the Melchizedek order is not yet broken. Ishmael walking in his way, but Yah is coming down and visiting Isaac the same way he visited Abraham. And Isaac is smaller than Ishmael. Ishmael now have his 12 sons. He is becoming great. He is strong. He have his brothers with him, his 6 brothers with him and their sons. They are rapidly becoming a people. You don't hear about them struggling like Isaac, who was still yet small, and then having to pay people to serve him.
And thou shalt carry to thy father, and he will eat, that he may bless thee before his death. And because Jacob was afraid to sin, fearing lest his father might curse him, he said, Behold, Saul my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man.
So Saud is the image that people see, the big beard and strong and very and Jacob like me, you know what I'm saying?
Ruddy and little.
Struggle beard 5,000. You know what I'm saying? I'll never say, hey, this is it. I put oils and ointments and creams, and I'm not a hairy man. I'm smooth. That's it. Like, it's not a lot of hair. This is what I got. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is.
Right.
And so now he's saying, you know, listen, my brother is a big, hairy, strong man. You know, this is a sign of strength. He's born like this. I'm, you know, not that, I'm not that image. Continue.
Perhaps my father will feel me.
So when he says, when my dad comes and he touches me, I know he can't see, but when he touch me, you know what I'm saying? He gonna know. You know what I'm saying? Jacob, why are you playing?
And I shall be in his eyes like one who derieth
Derideth
Neither
him. The
him.
word deride is where you get the same word, is the one to deceive, right? Derideth him, the one who is deceiving him. Okay?
And bring upon me a curse and not a blessing. And she said, if with blessings he bless thee, they shall be upon thee and upon thy sons. And if with curses he shall curse thee, they shall be upon me and upon my soul. Therefore, receive from me and go and take for me.
Okay, so now the mother, Rivka, she says, listen, this on me and not on you. I take full accountability. If your father bless you, it is for you and for your sons forever. And if your father find out what I have done, and there be a curse, it will not be upon you.
Mm-hmm.
It will be upon me.
Mm-hmm.
This is the instructions she had received by the Holy Spirit to make this judgment which stands today. This judgment still stands. So now I have presented you all with a way, a door to come through to end the curses, right? Should you accept? But if not, understand
It's on you.
the curse on you.
Yeah.
If you come through the door, there is nothing but blessings to you and your sons. If you decide to hold out and play looky-loo on the sidelines to wait and see who it will be well with before making your decision, then the curse will be upon you. Next.
And he went and took and brought to his mother. And his mother made food such as his father loved. And Rivkah took the pleasant vestments of Saul, her elder son, which had formerly been Adam's, but which that day Saul had not worn, but they remained with her in the house, and with them she dressed Jacob, her younger son.
Okay, so now we're going to pay attention to this.
Mm-hmm.
So the garments, right, that Esau has that were given to Nimrod, Esau killed Nimrod
And took him.
and took him. He killed Nimrod in innocent blood. He had no reason to kill Nimrod, but he killed him out of a indebtedness to fulfill what was prophesied about Abraham in honor of Abraham, because Nimrod did cause him great hardship. So he killed Nimrod, but Abraham did not die on account of Nimrod.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
So Esau is not wearing the garments of Adam. So when Ham stole them, he hid them, he laid them up. They now go to Nimrod.
Mm-hmm.
Esau kills him and takes the garment back. And now Esau was wearing it for a time. And here it is on the Pesach night. And now He leaves him in the house, and Jacob puts him on to go and receive a blessing. Okay? What happened next?
And the skins of the kids she laid upon his hands, and the smooth parts of his neck.
See, his neck smooth, like
Right.
mine. You know, hairy people get a lot of hair under here. So if he have a smooth part of his neck, Jacob beard is not big. You know, people with big beards, they hair all around their neck. Because when the father comes to kiss him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they grab the neck.
They grab the neck.
Kiss on each side, yeah.
So if you grab the neck and it's smooth like mine, we have a problem.
And the food and the bread she had made, she set in the hand of Yaqub, her son.
So now the food and the bread she's made, she has set in the hand of Jacob. Okay, just like Abraham. I made your food just like Abraham. I've made your food to go present to your father and his God.
Yes.
Go in there.
And he entered unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Behold me. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said to his father, I am Saul, thy firstborn. I have done as thou spakest with me. Arise now, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said to his son, What is this that thou hast found so soon, my son? And he said, Because Yehada Allah had prepared it before me.
So you gotta listen to this. Yeah. I mean, he's telling him, he's like, who is this? Because he has cataracts, he cannot see, right? Who is this? It's Saul, your son. So they sound alike. They twins. Okay? They twins. From the same, they twins. So there's one hairy, one smooth, but twins. If Esau was to shave, they look exactly the same. Okay? So he says, I have done what you spoke. He says, wow, this is fast. Wow. How'd you get this done so quickly? He says, oh, well, because of
You're
the
Allah.
Most High prepared it before me. I went outside like the ram in the bush, it was there. So this sounds good to Isaac. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sound like my boy. The blessing is surely upon him as it was with me. Right? So now let's see what happens.
And Isaac said to Jacob, Come near now, and I will feel thee, my son, whether thou be my son Saul or not.
So now, here comes the backup plan. Let me make sure, because y'all sound alike. I don't want to give out the wrong blessing. Right? Why? Because he's giving out the birthright according to law of the birthright. He's giving out the birthright blessing according to the law of the birthright. But the Most High is still holding Saul accountable for his actions and the birthright he scorned when he was a young man. His father never absolved him in the court. Isaac created what we call today, that is still in existence, the Bedouin court. Right? I'm a judge. I sit upon the Bedouin court. Isaac created it. So now this judgment will continue because even though Isaac is exercising his right as a judge to bestow this blessing. The Most High making it difficult. I'll blind you. I know how to get what I want out of this. I will make it not possible. So continue.
And Jacob drew near to Isaac his father, who touched him and said, "This voice is the voice of Jacob. Nevertheless, the feeling of the hands is as the feeling of the hands of Saul."
So now y'all don't know like the goats around here, right? So we got these goats around here. They got the same texture hair as we do. You don't know, but we do. So it is what it is. I'm just letting you know. So when you get over here and you see these little weird looking goats, they weird. You know what I'm saying? They're not the shade white hair goats. They indigenous here. All right. And he said,
But he recognized him not, because his hands were hairy as the hands of Saul his brother, and he blessed him.
so he can tell by the way he is talking, they sound the same, but
Just a little slight.
because remember, Saul talks very strong,
Right.
and yet Esau, his brother, speaks with intelligence. He speaks very subdued. So even though he's doing his best Saul impression,
Right.
he know his brother.
Have that subtlety.
He's
the
still very
calmness.
subtle and and he's intentful in his language, but he is peaceable.
Yes. Yes.
So continue.
Okay. And he said, "But art thou my son Saul?" And he said, "I am." And he said, "Draw near, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee." And he approached him, and he ate, and he had no wine, but an angel prepared it for him from the wine which he had been kept in its grapes from the days of the beginning of the world. And he gave it into Jacob's hand, and Jacob brought it to his father, and he drank.
So now, remember when we did the class and we discussed this old wine? What is he sharing with his father over food? What does Jacob and Isaac have in common? What school did they both attend?
Shem's school.
Shem's school. And in Shem's school, the first thing that Noah grew was the grapes, the wine.
Yes. Yeah, I was just thinking about that when we read that. I was like, that sounds familiar to the grapes and wines that Noah had.
The same grapes, the same wine, and they discussed this law in the same way Isaac did when, as a young man, when he went to the school of Shem. He comes back with the same thing.
Right.
Now, Jacob comes back and he has the same thing. He has this understanding, he has the wine, the conversation, everything is
the same.
It's that feeling that came from Noah, who was before the flood, from Shem, and that understanding from before the flood. We'll be back after this. So, the wine. So you're looking at it, and Noah prepares the grapes in a certain way, Shem prepares their grapes in a certain way. They preserve the grape juice to make the wines in a certain way, and it is done in the same way. So he's bringing this in now. He had not prepared it, but who's outside knowing that he needs something to drink? Here, take this food in there. Yeah, he gonna need something to drink. Nobody but his wife.
Oh, mama.
She's out there. She know her husband better than anybody. She has been with him before everybody. She know exactly what he like. And so now what happens?
And Isaac, his father, said, "Draw near now and kiss me, my son." And Jacob drew near and kissed him.
He grabs him, give him the kiss. You know, they grab you by the neck. They just the traditional way.
Yes,
It's my son.
yes. And he smelled the smell of his vestments and blessed him and said, "See, the smell of my son is as the smell of the fragrant incense which is to be offered on the mountain of the house of the sanctuary."
See? What is that? They're supposed to be what?
See, the smell of my son is as the smell of the fragrant incense which is to be offered on the mountain of the house of the sanctuary.
So that's what our first offering will be. Because we have to multiply and grow. You just got here. So we will begin to offer the fragrant incense first, and we will have the earthen altar. Right? So this is to be burnt. So this is to the sons of Isaac. Now, you bruise, and you who want to be Israelites and you don't want to keep Isaac's covenant, you stay where you are. This is for Isaac's covenant. This is Isaac's judgment. It stands today.
It's the incense on the earthen, correct?
No, it's not on the earthen altar, it's with it.
Okay.
So the incense is what the Most High will accept now. So when you return, we will get this together.
Therefore, oh, wait a minute. Which shall be called a field which Yah hath blessed, and that he hath chosen, that therein his Shekinah might dwell.
And it shall be called
A field.
a field.
A field.
What are we buying? A farm.
Farm that has
What is a farm? A field. You think his judgment off? You want to disrespect Isaac's judgment? Stay where you are. I'm talking to the holy ones of the seed of Isaac who wish to obey at this time. You are to become the head of houses. Continue.
Therefore,
Oh, and notice it says the Shekinah
might dwell.
might dwell there. Shekinah there. What? I told you, it's here with me. You have to come to me. The only one permitted to bring you to me is Ali. Because he has the key to the sanctuary. To open it is make it easier, but he has the key. So you must contact him. You cannot get in any other way.
Therefore, The word of Yah, give thee of the good dews, which descend from the heavens, and of the good fountains that spring up and make the herbage of the earth to grow from beneath, and plenty of provision and wine.
Plenty of provision and wine. So this covenant, this blessing from Isaac is to us today. So that when you get here, after you have given all that is needed for the land and for houses, we now will enjoy the bountiful provision, because not only will we get the field with the olives, we get the field with the grapes and with the pomegranate, and we will make sweet wine. Again, this for the obedient. This is what we're doing. June 2nd is we will have a meeting. We will meet. We will be on our land, on our farm, face to face with those who gave. What is June 2nd? June 2nd is the first day of the 10th month. June 2nd is the first day of the 10th month. It is the first of Giddo, what used to be called Tammuz, but I don't care about any more idols. The last one is being torn down, the son of Babylon. What comes next?
Okay. Let peoples be subject to thee, all the sons of Saul.
So they will be subject when in time. Not for you to, no. It says let people. That means they're allowed to choose. And I'm allowed to accept. We get to that another time. But let the peoples be subject to thee, all the sons of Saul. To be subject, it means we must have a land, a provision for them to be under our dominion.
And kingdoms bend before thee.
And the kingdoms, all the nations where they are, they will bend before us later.
All the sons of Keturah,
All the sons of Keturah,
a chief and a ruler, be thou over thy brethren.
So now, as a nation, we will be the highest nation, ruling over the kingdoms. With what? With the law. With provision. We have it. We have the food. We have the land. Okay?
And let the sons of thy mother salute thee.
So they will greet us with a salute.
Let them.
Now, you have to understand, you have to take on the full traditional and customs and do the work to rebuild first.
Yes.
Nobody is saluting you at the airport.
No.
Continue.
Let them who curse thee, my son, be accursed as Balaam bar Beor, and them who bless thee be blessed as Musa the prophet, the scribe of Israel.
So this is the prophecy of Musa and how he come about. And why we still call him Musa is because of Isaac. He is from Isaac's seed. He is called the seed of Isaac. So now we're talking about Musa, the scribe of Israel. He's the one who wrote this book, which is translated, right? After the tablet broke, he wrote this one. And he also write the parchment, which goes in the artican, the side. And they kept this tradition going.
And it was when Isaac had finished blessing Yakub, and Yakub had only gone out about 2 handbreadths from Isaac his father, and that Saul his brother came in from his hunting.
All right, now Saul comes in. He received the blessing. Jacob's out the door. Two handbreadths. Do you know what 2 handbreadths is? That's 1 step. He had just taken 1 step, and Saul coming. And he's like, oh snap. Okay, let me slide on.
And the word of Yah had impeded him from taking clean venison.
So the word of Yah had impeded him, meaning it had prohibited him. It had made something that is easy to him difficult in the time when he needed it to be simple. He was impeded.
But he had found a certain dog and killed him and made food of him and brought to his father.
So he found the dog, killed it, and made food of the dog and brought it to his father.
You know, when I first read this last year, I was so vexed. And it's every time I come across and read it, it still vexes me.
Isaac ain't no fool, though. So Isaac ain't no fool. You know what I'm saying? He been eating lawfully since birth. He is not a fool. So let's see what happens.
But he had found a certain dog and killed him and made food of him and brought to his father and said to his father, Arise, my father, and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac, his father, said to him, Who art thou?
Now I want y'all to understand something here. First of all, Jacob comes in and he is in need of assistance. You don't understand this, but Isaac is sitting there waiting for a meal, and Jacob's mother, our righteous mother Rivka, prepares what is lawful and correct for this festival day. 2 meals, the Pesach and the oblation. And now Saul comes in, and after he can't find deer in sufficient time, he finds a dog and kills a dog and cooks it by himself. So he knows how to prepare the food properly, but he put in an abominable ingredient. He had the customs and the traditions, but he's choosing to make an abominable thing acceptable unto his father. So let's go with that and continue.
And Isaac was moved with great agitation when he heard the voice of Saul.
So now Isaac can't see, and he's agitated when he hears Saul's voice, because Saul comes in strong and aggressive, as he is. Right? He's entitled. I'm about to get my father's blessing. What else?
And the smell of his food rose in the nostrils as the smell of the burning of Gehenna.
So now he smells this and he's like, the hell is this? This not venison. This smells like caca. Burnt caca. This is horrible. So now I know this my son, the firstborn who I love, and this what he bring me? So now he's agitated.
Who is he who hath got venison and come to me? And I have eaten of all which he brought me before thou camest.
So he's asking the question. Who who came in with the good food and blessed and got the blessing from me? I blessed him. This my oath before all of heaven. It stands. My vow stands, and the covenant made. There is now salt between us.
And he shall too be blessed. When Saul,
And he will be blessed.
yes,
The judgment stand forever. It never ceases. So now we have come to see who now will change and to accept the judgment Isaac gave. Who will turn their heart to Isaac like I have, to become like unto him? Join me now. This is why I sit here in good old American clothes, because we will change clothes together. I have my traditional garment, but you do not. So if I talk to you in my traditional garment, you think I'm some kook or some crazy. But now I'm talking to you as a reflection of you, to ask who wants to go do this. We will own our land. We will have plenty food and provision. You no longer will have to pay to live on earth, but you have to pay to buy the land. Continue.
And Saul heard the words of his father. He cried with a cry exceeding great and bitter, and said to his father, Bless me also, my father. And he said, Thy brother have come with subtlety.
With subtlety. Your brother came with subtlety.
And hath received from me thy blessing.
So he got it out of me. He used subtlety. I didn't know, in all honesty.
And he said, His name is truly called Yakub, for he hath dealt treacherously with me these 2 times.
So now he's saying his name Yakub because he dealt treacherously with me 2 times. But Yakub did not deal with him treacherously 2 times. The first time, he scorned the birthright and sold it in his foolishness as a young man. And everybody knew about it, and nobody absolved Saul of it because he was disrespectful. Then he break the covenant and the judgment of Abraham, marrying and taking women and wives who were not fit. They were unsuitable to be joined to him. Then he go out and he commit the other 5 acts of sin, and then come serve his father an abominable beast. He make his father Chinese food and bring it in here and says, eat this. They like it in China. And now he says that Jacob is the one who has dealt with him treacherously, when the Most High is like, you'll not receive the blessing of the righteous. It cannot and will not go unto one who has chosen to do that which is wicked. So the judgment stands. Even when Jacob died, the judgment stands. His word is bonded. Now continue.
My birthright he took, and behold, now he hath received my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?
So now he said, the birthright he took, and now he has received my blessing. But the problem is, and the lack of understanding that he is having was the blessing was the birthright.
Right.
He neither received the blessing of Abraham and did not honor Abraham to become like unto Abraham. So he had scorned the blessing because the blessing, the laws which Abraham lived, the way Abraham lived. Everything, the law which governed Abraham, his God, his worship, who to marry, who not to marry, where to go, what to do, was all part of the birthright. The law is the inheritance. So the instructions which come from me, which come from Abraham to you today, are our guiding light. It is the inheritance which guarantees us success in the place where nobody believes we can succeed. That's why I know today, this message going forward, the donations are going to roll in. This message is going to go out, and it's going to go to those who are coming, and we will have more than enough to do that which is commanded us under the judgment of Isaac, because we are his sons, his seed to keep his covenant, and nobody else. Because Jacob, right? This will be left for the curse. This name. You see? It will only be left for a curse. Not that Jacob
It's cursed.
is cursed.
No.
You see? So now, if you don't change or make this decision, you're going to end up receiving
The curse.
the cursed. You're going, and I mean the ultimate payment of it, the death, because there is going to be an exchange. The time of the punishment is over. You can now come, listen to my voice, listen to what I'm telling you, listen to all that I have taught. You have to make your moves and come now. We'll be back. All right. So now we have to make a choice. So let's see what Isaac's judgment is now to Esau, who has confessed about the birthright and the blessing, because he scorned them together when he scorned the birthright and didn't give honor to Abraham, whom the covenant begins with.
He didn't. He had no respect.
Yeah, sir.
For the birthright. I mean, he had no respect. And Isaac answered and said to Saul, behold, I have appointed him a ruler over thee.
Now, it's a ruler over Saul at what time? In the time in the end. Let's go.
And all his brethren have I made to be his servants, and with provision and wine have I sustained him.
Okay, so the judgment, every judgment that he said stands as he stated it. Uh-huh.
And now go, leave me, for what can I do for thee, my son?
Okay. So now he says, this all I gave him, and this everything I have. What now can I give to you? Now there's no enmity between Isaac and all the sons of Keturah.
Right.
Okay? All the sons, that's Ishmael included. There's no enmity here.
Right.
This is the judgment based upon the covenant which go with Isaac, and the Most High has chosen him and blessed him. This is his word. It is recorded. This entirety that I'm telling you is I am reconstituting the final nation, the Daba al-Ard, right? The beast that walks this land. Okay? This nation come with two things. The seed led by the seal, the seed of Solomon, the son of David, and by the rod of Moses, which is the law by which he corrected the children of Israel. I am doing exactly that. So now he says, hey, Esau, Saud, go from me, because I gave him everything. What's left? What do you want?
And Saul answered his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me also, my father. And Saul lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac answered and said to Saul, behold, among the good fruits of the earth shall be your habitation,
So he lives among us.
and with the dews of the heavens from above.
And you get the dews from heaven from above the same.
And upon your sword shalt thou depend,
Upon war shall you depend.
entering at every place, yet you shall be supple and credulous. Credulous, sorry.
So supple, meaning bending and moving easily and gracefully. You shall be flexible, right? And credulous, having or showing great readiness to believe things. So you shall be supple and credulous. You shall be flexible and easily moving to whatever side you know you believe, and you'll be correct on which side going to win.
And be in subjection to your brother.
So you will be in subjection to your brother.
But it will be that when his sons become evil and fall from keeping the commandments of the law, you shall break his yoke of servitude from off your neck.
So when we got put out of the land for our wickedness, that was when the destroyer came upon us, the curse came upon us, because our brother Esau was free from the yoke of servitude. So it left him and came to us. Continue.
And Saul kept hatred in his heart against Jacob his brother, on account of the order of blessing with which his father had blessed him. And Saul said in his heart, I will not do as Cain did, who slew Habil in the lifetime of his father, for which his father begat Sheth, but will wait till the time when the days of mourning for the death of my father come, and then will I kill Yakub my brother, and will be found the killer and the heir.
So now this is his plan, which he says in his heart. I will not kill him in the life of my father, because my father will have another son, and then he will become the sole heir of all. I will wait till my father die, then kill my brother, and then I will be the only heir, and there will be none. That's his plan, right? So now the only way to place them under the law, right? The only way to get them under subjection and to be subjects, which is willful and willful submission. Okay? The only way to do it is you're gonna have to come and do this law, and you're gonna have to do it the way I'm teaching you. There's no other way. Okay? You ain't gonna be able to wish a fix, pray a fix, or hope a fix. There's only one way. You're gonna have to follow my instructions very carefully as I am showing you how it's done. I'm telling you. Doing it, however, is gonna take some time. And we have to start. And we have to start right now. Continue.
And the words of Saul, her elder son, who thought in his heart to kill Yakub, were shown by the Holy Spirit to Rivkah. And she sent and called Yakub, her younger son, and said to him, Behold, Saul thy brother lieth in wait for thee, and plotteth against thee to kill thee. And now, my son, hearken to me. Arise, escape for your life, and go unto Laban, my brother, at Haran, and dwell with him a few days until the wrath of thy brother be abated. Until thy brother's anger have quieted from thee, and he have forgotten what thou hast done to him, and I will send and take thee from thence. Why should I be bereaved of you both in one day? Thou being slain, and he driven forth, as Hava was bereaved of Abil, whom Cain slew, and both were removed from before Adam and Hava all the days of the life of Adam and Hava.
So now you're understanding if him in his anger and his clouded judgment thinks that this plan is going to work, it does not. I will just end up out of two sons, one dead and one cursed till kingdom come. You see? And she didn't want that. So she's trying to avert the sin of Cain and Abel, which is now manifest yet again. Okay? Between these two sons from Isaac. You see? So now what Isaac is the same as Abraham is the same as Adam. This is why the Most High covenanting with him, because the Most High sees him and he sees Adam, how Adam dressed, how Adam's reverence to him, his service to him was. So we're going to give the Most High what he wants. We're going to be Adam. End of the story. Continue.
And Rivkah said to Isaac, I am afflicted in my life on account of the indignity of the daughters of Heth.
So you see where he get these from? These from Heth. You guys don't remember Heth? See, you got to hold the context of the conversation. So the daughters of Heth, right? He married these daughters from Heth, and these were who? These were Canaanite people. You see? And so these people from Canaan, you wasn't supposed to be with them. You wasn't supposed to marry them, and you took them anyway. And now they disrespectful to me and to your father, and that's why I did this. I'm gonna fix you. Not that you die, but you will not receive the blessing, the authority, the instruction, the favor of the God of Abraham, behaving in this way. Why? Because Rivka knows the whole story from Abraham. She know Abraham. She know what it was about. And this son is a violation. You don't do this. And so now this is what happened. Continue.
If Yakub take a wicked wife from the daughters of Heth, such as these of the daughters of the people of the land, what will life be to me?
So this is what he did. So now what will life be to me?
And Isaac called Yakub and blessed him and commanded him and said to him, Thou shalt not take a wife from the daughters of the Canaanite.
So again, now Isaac, having heard the judgment of his wife, he continues because the blessing is fixed, and he blesses. He blessed Jacob and commanded and said to him, "Do not do this. Don't take of the daughters of the Canaanite." So we're not taking daughters of the Canaanite here. The Israelite sisters that return must be dealt with. We're going to iron out your issues. We're going to forge families. You're going to be pressed together and made aright with the law. So we're going to do it lawfully, meaning you come, you don't comply, you die. That is all. That's it. But there's going to be husbands or wives. There will not be any boyfriends or girlfriends. There will not be any sneaky links. There will not be any long relationships of any kind. Non-virgins will choose and you'll be married within 3 days. Virgins will be selected and they will have a week-long wedding. Is that understood? If not, it's okay, because remember, if the Most High has a choice between one that will give him all the law according to the life of Abraham, he will bless him according to Isaac's judgment, and all the rest will die. And you're going to test it because the war is coming. It's not even that I have to lift the sword. I don't have to do anything. Continue.
Arise, go to Padam
Aram.
Aram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee from thence a wife from the daughters of Laban, mother's brother. And all Shadi will bless thee with many possessions, and increase thee, and multiply thee into 12 tribes.
Okay, so this is based upon Isaac. So now this is why we are called Yitzhaki. It is through Jacob that we are multiplied into 12 tribes from Jacob's judgment. That is what's standing here. So of the 12 tribes, only those who hearken to the judgment of Isaac will remain.
Now let's do the it's a key. And thou shalt be worthy of the congregation of the sons of the Sanhedrin.
And thou shalt be worthy of the congregation of the sons of the Sanhedrin, the sum of which is 70, according to the number of the nations. So my great Sanhedrin, like I said in episode 1, consists of 70. And then there's the other lesser Sanhedrins, the lesser courts. Each tribe has a great Sanhedrin, but then there's one united Sanhedrin.
And he will give the blessing of our Ibrahim.
The blessing
of Ibrahim.
of Abraham to you.
And to thy sons with thee.
And to your sons with you.
And cause thee to inherit the land of thy sojourning.
And cause you to inherit the land of your sojourning.
Which he gave unto Abraham.
Which he gave unto Abraham. So you're coming here now to sojourn here. So when we buy the land, same way Abraham did, this land will become unto us for an inheritance to be passed down from generation to generation. The same blessing of Abraham. Like I told you this whole time. You need Abraham's blessing. You're not going to get it being outside of Abraham's and Isaac's judgment. And now you have a choice to make. That's all we're going to take care of today. And we'll get into the rest tomorrow. Well, one day at a time, one step at a time. I look forward to seeing your deposits. I will also give progress. So as we buy the land, what land we buy, the layout of the actual house that we buy, and everything, so you guys can see what you're coming into. Please reduce yourselves, make yourself small. You don't want to get to the airport and have to throw stuff away.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Bring some decent clothes.
Yes.
But American.
Yes.
Bring some decent clothes, your bank cards, your IDs, your passports, your, any, your important docs or whatever, because you're going to need them, birth certificate, etc. And I want you guys to really encourage yourselves, like strengthen yourselves. I'm going to be here. I'm going to continue teaching. We're going to continue, but I promise you the Most High won't let up. So it's 67 days from today. 67 days. And I will see you in that last 7 days. Okay? I know each of you is coming from a different place, and travel, is a little budget. It's budget wise. So start looking at your ticket prices, start aiming for that time, get your tickets if you can, start sending the money, because we have to have the land and the housing for you when you get off that plane. We also have to have the van, and we will need some other things as necessary. I'll see you all one step at a time, one day at a time.